Today is a glorious day. I have gotten a shoe that I have wanted for practically my entire life. And I never thought that I would get them. So big thank you to the person that helped me get these. Like really big thank you. If I can hug you, which I don't normally do. I don't like touching people, but I will give you a hug, man.
Aw, shucks.
Hey, what's good, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. I know that it's late, but you know, I take L's on this. But anyways, this is the Air Jordan 1 85 cut. Now, first things first, these are just completely different in these. Okay, this is the OG high. OG. This is the real OG right here. Although they're not quite like the OG, but you know, they're as close as they've ever gotten before. Then we've got the OG lows. All right, so this is what the original Air Jordan low looked like. This is what people in my era know the Air Jordan low to look like. The first time that they were retroed as a low, it looked like this. So yeah, this was the Air Jordan 1 low shape that we were all kind of just used to. It was what we got. This is what they originally looked like back in the day. It wasn't in this colorway, but this is what they used to look like. So there's a little bit of a difference there. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. And the first time this colorway actually retroed was in this form, because they did this as a high and as a low back in 85, but the low top retro actually was a Euro exclusive, and I just couldn't get them. They were too expensive on the resale market. It was like 5+. Yeah. It's probably even more now. Yeah. It's just one of those things where I'm just like, bro, I can't do that. Not for some ones, man. There ain't nothing in this. It's a cup sole, dude. But these guys right here, they just kind of give you the entire package. It's almost what these were supposed to give you, but they do it a little bit better. I do wish that these came in the actual box, because they used to come in the reverse box where it's black with the red branding. But I'll take anything like at this point, you know what I mean? But they do come with the original hang tag. This used to come with all the Jordan 1s. This thing is so cool. And then when you open it up, it actually tells you about the shoe. It tells you about the product. People want to know these things, dude. Like, this should not be in like a relic feature. This should be a all the time feature. Like, all shoes should have this if they've got tech specs. But yeah, this is just fantastic. And I loved reading through the breakdown with all the arrow pointing, because it told you exactly what their thought process was back in the 80s when they were designing this kind of thing. Because nowadays it's all about textile. It's reduce as much weight as possible because it reduces as much cost to the manufacturing process as possible. But back in this day, all they had were leathers, suedes, and nubucks. So when they were making all of these panels, they had to actually think when they were designing, like, what do we have here and how do we reinforce this lateral toe area? How do we make the ankle a little bit more flexible? How do we still provide support and stability but make the shoe so that you can actually move in it? And that is exactly why I love this time period of shoes, because they actually had more thought into it. Nowadays it's a sock shoe. Do what you need to, reinforce that area right there by putting some plastic on it, and then boom, you're done. That's not what it was like back in the day. There was like heart and soul in these shoes, man, and you can see it, feel it. And that's why stuff like this is still relevant and popular right now in 2021. Think about that. 85 to 2021, people still beasting over this shoe like it was yesterday. Now, one of the main differences between these guys right here, first off, is that outsole. It's not gonna be like super noticeable or anything like that because they are damn near identical. Can you see the difference?
I can.
Really, what do you see?
The stars are all more prominent.
They are. They're also a little bit smaller, but the overall shape of the outsole is different. Same exact thing as the dunk sole, which is what they originally were. So it's really cool. They have the same little cutout thing right there, whereas the actual Air Jordan 1 or the new Air Jordan 1, whatever you want to call these, the one that we're used to, has a really big open window right there. And so it's just little things that are different. Again, the overall shape, like this one kind of curves and this one's almost straight. Just little things like that that I think are really great. And I love that they paid that much attention to detail. The biggest thing though for me, it's not even the shape, it's the midsole. The midsole is just different. It's not even the same, it's literally different. The sculpt of it is different. The way that it swoops and sways and moves with the foot and the midfoot and everything is different. The texture, different. The size or thickness or width of the heel, different. This is such a good shoe that it makes me scratch my head. It's just like, Jordan Brand, bro, like if you could do this, why don't you do this all the time, man? You know, you make billions. Every weekend, we're shelling out $200 or more. So it's like, if you can do this all the time, why don't you do this all the time? We will still buy it. And then on top of that, when they give us what we finally have been asking for, it's in such limited fashion, such limited quantities, that fans like myself or other OG fans, we cannot actually get the shoe. It's like it was catered to someone else at this point. It wasn't catered to the fan, it was catered to the resale. It's sad that like someone like me can't get something like this, right? Or say the band Airship, the black and reds, where you finally told the real story. Shout out to Marvin, MJO23 is Dan, because he's the reason why that even happened. But when that shoe finally retroed, what did they do? They did not release it in the United States. They released it at some store called Backdoor Bodega over in the UK, who literally backdoored these shoes to people in the United States, even though their Nike contract says you cannot ship these shoes overseas because you are an overseas retailer. So it's this like weird elitist mentality that the sneakers have turned into, and it's just weird. Like you can't even be a real fan anymore. You gotta buy your way into your fandom. So yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed in the way that this rolls out. A lot of people are like, this is the shoe of the year. This is the shoe of 2021. No, it's not. Nobody can get this thing. You cannot be the shoe of the year unless you are attainable. That's why the Air Monarch is one of the best selling shoes of all time every year, because you could just get them. Are they hot? Are they comfortable? It's just an everyday shoe. It shouldn't be a thing where you gotta jump through hoops and then pay $700 and then it's the shoe of the year. Now, all that, man. If you cannot get the shoe, it's not the shoe of the year. It might be the most elusive shoe of the year, but it's not the shoe of the year. Now, back to these guys right here. The overall shape is damn near like the original. The one thing that I don't like though is the toe. The toe looks funny. It just doesn't look right. That's one thing that I loved about these guys right here, actually, is look at this toe. Look at that thing. This thing is pointy as look at that toe. That's what the original Air Jordans used to look like. Now these guys look different. They don't look like this at all. They also don't look like this. They're like somewhere in the middle. I do understand that the original 85 Air Jordan was made at multiple different factories. So there was just variations of the shoe. So that could be one reason. We don't know which Air Jordan from 85 they were actually looking at to recraft this toe. Second thing is that there was a 94 release, which was the first retro of the shoe, and those looked more like this. Maybe that was the only shoe that they were able to obtain to kind of like take apart and see what they could do to reshape the shoe to make it look more like an 85 cut. But in doing so, you might have made it look more like the 94 cut instead of the 85 cut. And then this midsole right here, the tooling and everything, inside there is a PU wedge. We were always told inside of here is an EVA wedge. So I thought that was really interesting. And thanks to this card, it actually told you the actual tech specs. And then, look at that insole, man. That is one hell of an insole. This is all polyurethane. I also like this little nod right here. It's like the old sample tags. But the polyurethane insole is amazing. Like, it's like no wonder Jordan played in these things. Like, you always wonder when you get this one, how the did this guy play in this shoe? Because he didn't play in that shoe. He played in this one. And then on top of that, what's that?
A board last.
It is. And that makes this shoe incredibly rigid and stable. Which is really interesting because with this one, you can twist these guys up and all that stuff, and you cannot do that with this one. It stays in place. A board last is just cardboard, and man, it does wonders. I could not believe how much more support that was. It's insane. There's also some other original touches, which would be the inside liner, as well as the size tag and the little label numbers and things like that. Another difference though is this collar right here is suede. The original was actually just foam painted gray, but the original swoosh was suede. So yes, they were all like that, by the way. They weren't leather and stuff like they are now. They were literally open foam collars so that you can move in the shoe. It allowed that flex with the lockdown wings, and then they painted over it with like a leather paint. So a lot of original Jordan 1s from 85 and stuff like that, you would see like the cracking, and it's because of that. And then one last thing about the whole story and stuff like that about this kind of shoe, the reason why this shoe in this colorway exists is because this shoe right here was one of the first shoes to bring color to the game, if not the first. Back in the day, this is what you would see. If it didn't look like this, it had a black swoosh, a blue swoosh, or a red swoosh. And that was about it. That was as much color as you were getting, or they were just black with a white swoosh. And then this shoe came out and they just kind of stunned and shocked everyone. Now in today's world, that's normal. All of these shoes back here, like they launch in crazy colorways. This though, even MJ back in the day.
Hey, I agree with you, they are ugly.
And it took him a long time to get used to something like this, which eventually he did, and he fell in love with it. But at the time, they needed to bring something to the masses that they were kind of used to, because they weren't used to black and red. So they did do normal colors. There were a lot of white-based colors with a gray swoosh. There was the metallic pack with the blue, the red, the green. I think there was an orange. There might have been a purple one as well. So yes, there's just all kinds of story and history with this that I just think is fantastic. And I wish that this could be the shoe of the year. I just wish it could. I wish everybody that wanted a pair of these can get them. Now the materials are way different. These guys right here are mad soft. They're beautiful, they're buttery. This is a thick cut of cow. Like this, damn, you can make a sandwich out of this. And you just got really nice thick leather. They don't make them like this anymore. Clearly they make them more for, you know, lifestyle use and things like that. You could still play in it, but this is the shoe that was the performance one back in the 80s. And yeah, it's gonna be a little bit stiff at first, but they do fit perfectly, true to size. So once you start wearing them, they will break in. They'll look unbelievably awesome the more that you do that. But that pretty much takes care of it for my thoughts on the Air Jordan 1 and the 85 cut. Again, I'm super late on grabbing these because I couldn't get a single pair. So again, thank you to you know who. I'm not supposed to say anything else, but I really appreciate you, man. Like, you didn't have to, and I really, really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about all of this stuff down below in the comment section. And until next time, guys, have a good one.